Hi YouTube, it's Indigo Wendigo, and today I'd like to show you one of my favorite games ever, the Stanley Parable. If you haven't ever seen anything about this game or heard anything about it, well, lucky you, you're in for kind of a treat because this game is supremely entertaining. So, let's just not waste any time and get started. And the first cutscene, we're just gonna watch together. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let the narrator talk, and we're just gonna share that. You and me, we're gonna share it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And just like the narrator said, he got up from his desk and stepped out and so on, this is a point where you can first move. Yay! And
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, as you can see, this game takes place in an office setting. Exciting, right?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Got some computers, got this desk's over here, got a pencil sharpener. That's neat. This is a messy office. Everybody's got their files on the floor. Oh, you can crouch with this game. Not everybody knows that. Like, it doesn't ever tell you that explicitly. But yeah, control is crouch. Doodly-doo. And I have logged actually an obscene amount of hours with this game just because, like, once you play it, you just keep going back to it because it keeps surprising you with just little tiny details. And like, I first started, or I attempted to do some recording just a little bit ago, and when I started the game, it caught me off guard and I got all confused because it like started me out in this blue tinted office, like the carpet was blue and the walls were blue, which sometimes happens, like I've seen it before, but still, I got all confused. And so a lot of times I just like to try to see if I can like crouch and peek, like, there's a city map, that's cool. What does it mean? I don't know. I like that it says it's best to go explore, and you don't really have a huge area to explore, you just have the office. So yeah. This game, I love it because mostly of the narrator. Kevin Brighton is an amazing voice actor and narrator, and like the Stanley Parable is the best example I've ever seen of the dev team thought of everything. You know, if you use TV tropes, you're probably familiar with that. But like, for example, this is a great example. Let's just close that and close that. Boop. Oh,
and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway.
Yeah.
Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside, to see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart.
It's a nice room.
He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
The narrator is such a smug asshole, and I love him so much. Like, he's just a voice. He's just a voice, but...
No, apparently not.
He's definitely one of my favorite characters ever. Like, he holds a very special place in my heart. And so these two doors, let's just stop in this threshold right here. These two doors are kind of like a hub for where most of your choices and decisions like center around. And this game is really all about like choices and decisions. That's what it really is. It's just a big like decision tree.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And so you say that, narrator, but did he? Did he really? Nah, not gonna do that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Well, maybe he did. A lot of the fun of this game, at least initially, when you're first like playing it, is just pissing off the narrator, just to see what he says.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking it. There's a drink machine. And this room is what I mentioned before with the blue palette, blue tinted office.
Yes,
Excuse me.
Really worth it.
I was trying to say some stuff.
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Whatever, man. It's a nice painting. I don't know why I'm like taken aback by the narrator interrupting me, because it's not out of character for him.
His obsession with this room bordered on creepy.
Whatever, I want to look at coffee cups.
On his overall personality. It's possible
Coffee.
that this is why everyone left.
Oh, standing on a table. Maybe? Am I? Oh, yeah. I wonder what's in that folder.
Sat around waiting for more dialogue. When a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Is this too meta for you yet? Is this too meta?
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Huh. It kind of gets like a choose your own adventure kind of feel, because you start to realize and like recognize where all the different branching pathways are. And that's one of them.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired.
Oh, you want to check this sign out? Do not lie. Do not lie. I try not to lie in my daily life. Hey, here's an ending for you. Whoa!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Achoo!
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I love that line so much, and I keep it filed away in my heart. Just the good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. I just want to bust that out whenever somebody's making a consummate ass of themselves. Oh, is that a phone ringing? I think that's a phone ringing. Let's go check it out, shall we? Somebody getting a call? Hello? Oh, it's this. I think it's this. Oh.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today.
Whoa.
We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
That's wild. I've never heard that message before, because sometimes that will happen, like the phone will be ringing, and you can go to a message thingy, answering machine, this object, and pick it up, and it'll be like, one of the messages is like talking about delivery of thousands of cardboard boxes, and one of them that I like is like, this is a message to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages, and it's like, oh, okay, but I've actually never heard that from like someone who sounds like Stanley's girlfriend or wife, so that's fun. that's kind of funny because one of the endings you can get, oh, I don't think I've mentioned yet. This game is full of endings. Like, this is all the game is. It's got like 20-something endings. And one of them is the one I just showed you. You can just, whoa, just jump off to your death in like the warehouse. But one of the endings has like allusions to Stanley having an apartment and a wife. We'll get to that later. Another thing that is kind of interesting and leads to, you guessed it, an ending is this business right here. Right there. With the input received. So as you go through this like weird office building looking place, I really don't think this is like a literal office building. This has got to be some kind of extra dimensional deal. But there are lots of computers you can pass, and sometimes you'll find one that's like awaiting input. So you go up to it and you go beep, and it's like input received. And you can keep like restarting and restarting the game just to like go to different endings and such. And the input received bar will keep filling up. You know what?
One spot. That's part of the game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum.
I love this fucking asshole.
Observe the genius at work.
I love him. I love him so much. Narrator, you made me lose my goddamn train of thought. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, about the endings, right, okay. So that input received business, that leads to, like, the Stanley's Heaven ending, which I'm sure I'll get to show you, and it'll be fun. What do you think of these, like, generic nature photos? You like them? I like them. It's very dewy, that one. And off we go. I did the platform thing. That's
when
cool.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nah, I still want to be contrary. Still want to be disobedient.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Sure did.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
It's also interesting that, like, I think that was on the past tense. So, it's really like he's reading off a script. Employee lounge.
Yes.
Woo!
This room. What a beautiful room.
It's alright.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
Nah, I'm kidding. It's
Thank
beautiful.
goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
So let's not even consider it and keep going.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So something I like to bring up when I'm talking to people about this game.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible.
Yeah, we know.
5 years ago.
When I'm like waxing rhapsodic about the Stanley Parable is like, what is this game about? What is it really like about? And at, you know, at a first glance on the surface, it's like, okay, there's a guy named Stanley, he's in an office, and it's a walking simulator. But just like beyond that, it's really a fascinating deconstruction of like narrative tropes and like I think hand holding in games, because you can go through this game. Let's just pause right here. You can go through this game in, I think it's like 2 minutes and something. The speed run is like 2 minutes 20 something seconds, which I still haven't gotten despite my best efforts.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Have we?
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Oh, was there?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her, you say? I think this is a great opportunity
Your chance to yourself, to put your work aside.
Listen to him talk some more.
Back into your life. She's been waiting.
Has she? It was really excellent timing on the game's part, because I had never heard that message from that person who sounds like maybe Stanley's girlfriend or wife. So let's maybe go meet her? Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
I don't like phones.
To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay. Let's do it. Phone was a little startling. I don't like phones. Don't ever call me. Just text me.
Oh,
Jeez.
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Oh, I love bread.
All
Yes.
right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh, shit!
Gotcha.
Ah!
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a
She's a-
loving wife? Who'd want to
She's a
give that
puppet.
to you?
Ah!
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Oh, it's scary. I don't like the mannequin. I don't want to go on Silent Hill. Oh, look, the hallway's clear. Let me just,
Sorry,
oh,
but
whoa.
here's my story now.
Oh, I love that. It's so cold. Narrator is a cold-hearted bastard.
This
Hey.
is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
That's not ominous. Oh, okay. 3, you say?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Well, that's not nice. K? What if I press O? What if I press L? Okay, I'll press K.
Look at him there,
Oh.
pushing buttons.
Oh, it's
doing
my desk.
exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
Hey, girl.
Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
Hey.
One might even feel sorry for
Let's
him,
give you a little-
except that he's chosen this life.
A little kiss. Mwah. My wife is beautiful. This is my beautiful wife, and I love her. Okay, I'll press 8.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
Sure
From
can.
behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
It's kind of depressing. That's why we have video games, to go on adventures. Yeah, let's watch some TV. Alright.
And so he began
Oh.
to fantasize about his
Oh,
own
that's not a
job.
TV.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
It sounds like a good time. I would love just being alone at work. Of course, that's just me. Okay, time with the boys. Do I have boys? Are there boys? Boys? Boys?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two
No boys.
open doors and that he could go through either. At last,
Can I get a
choice.
snack?
It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
No snacks.
The mere thought that his decisions
Aw.
would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Oh, dinner. Yes. Awesome. Let's get some din-dins.
As he wandered
Oh.
through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and
It doesn't look like dinner.
destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And
Oh.
down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, title drop. There it is. There it is. I love when that happens. It's so exciting. Okay, well, I haven't seen any kids yet, but I'll just take your word for it, I guess.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived
Okay.
it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Her eyeless stare is a little unnerving, but, I mean, it's okay that she's a soulless mannequin with no features, really, or clothes. Just don't even have shoes. But she's my wife, and I love her.
But there is no
Oh,
answer.
bye.
How could there possibly be?
Bye, goodbye
In
forever.
reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The
my
longer he
desk.
spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Fucked up, dude. Sleepy time? Let's go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he
I'm not
can
asleep.
never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Well, okay. So this game has so many just like cheeky moments that it's just like, it just fucks with you, and I love it. It's just delightful. You know, it's not like it's not like, what example am I looking for? I don't know, Call of Duty, or like, what's another like huge game? Skyrim. And I have Skyrim, and I like it, but it's Skyrim, you know, it's like straightforward, kind of. Just like you know what you have to do, and the game's not going to mess with you. This is just a different kind of fun. And right here, in this moment, if you don't press a button, it'll just stay. Nothing will happen. So, this is it. This is my weirdly lit bedroom. I think that's a bed, maybe. Can't really tell. And just, good God, at the symbolism. This game is rife with, like, symbols and, I think, allegory in some places. That's probably the right word to use. Okay, press T to be at work in the morning. Yes, that sounds good.
You see?
Oh,
Can he just not hear me?
I can hear you.
Tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself.
Man.
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Oof. Question nothing. That's too real. That is too real.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him
Oh,
to.
no more
I don't
bedroom.
make the rules. I simply play to my intended
Just in the
purpose, the same as
office.
Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to
I
convey
get
this
out?
to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps.
Huh.
Maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Oh,
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again.
so
And Stanley
heavy.
pushed a button.
Please die.
And
I guess I'm dead. There are a couple of endings that do that just like cut off. And that's just, it's just polish. That's the word. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Polish. Just little details that immerse you further in it and like the game's atmosphere. I love that shit. It's awesome. So, well, I guess that's it for now. And stay tuned for more endings, more narration. That was a bad accent. Because I want to show you guys all the endings. There's so much to this game. This game that you can complete in 2 minutes and change. But until then, I'll see you later. Okay, bye.